Good day. This is my direct and honest review on the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006. And I am making this review in connection with the recent Tacloban incident. So, my direct and honest review is that Republic Act 9344 as amended by Republic Act 10630 is good in philosophy but weak in execution. Its purpose is correct. Children should not be placed under the adult penal system. Di po natin pwede ihalo ang mga bata doon sa matatanda. That's correct. And the law expressly adopts restorative justice, rehabilitation, and reintegration as its framework. Pero ito po ang mga possible weaknesses. Number one, the 15 and below rule can create a public perception of non-accountability. Parang nakikita kasi ng public is that if the child is 15 and below and committed a certain offense, there is no accountability. Kasi a child 15 years old or below is exempt from criminal liability. Yan po sabi ng batas, no? Subject only to intervention. Although ang civil liability nandiyan pa rin. It still remains, no? Legally, that is child protection. But practically, when the act is grave or violent offense, like what happened in Tacloban City, the public sees it as walang tunay na pananagutan. Kasi exempted nga sa criminal liability. That perception weakens confidence in the law. Number two po, na nakita ko ang loophole is that discernment is too fact sensitive and can be inconsistently applied. Okay, for those 15 but below 18, criminal liability depends upon whether the child acted with discernment. No? And discernment means yung alam ba niya na tama o mali ang ginagawa niya. Okay. Nakakaintindi siya na mali yung ginawa niya o hindi. Alright. So the Supreme Court has said that discernment is determined from the totality of circumstances, including the child's conduct before, during, and after the offense was committed. Okay. So that is legally sound, no? But it leaves much discretion to the police, to the social workers, prosecutors, and judges. Alam mo, two similar cases may be treated differently depending on documentation, local capacity, or the quality of the social worker's report. So depende, no? It may happen that in one situation, iba ang kanyang pag-treat ng social worker. Dito naman nangyari sa ibang jurisdiction or different city, iba rin ang pag-treat. So hindi the same. Okay? And number three loophole that I have seen, no? The law assumes intervention programs actually work. Yun daw pag-intervene, no? Dito ng mga either court supervised or not, hindi daw nag-work. Well, the truth is, not all does work actually. Okay. The law depends heavily on the local government unit, the social workers, the Bahay Pag-asa, family support, no? Yung counseling, yung psychiatric evaluation or psychiatric help, and follow through. But if the local government unit has weak facilities, paano kung siyempre, kung wala talaga sila masyadong budget for that, no? Because the law mandates that each local government unit must have this Bahay Pag-asa, no? And few ang trained personnel nila dito, or no meaningful rehabilitation program, then parang yung intervention becomes a mere formality only, or it has become a mere formality. And, Bahay Pag-asa po, no, is supposed to be a 24-hour child caring institution. In all provinces po, and highly urbanized cities are required to have one. So, yung mga municipalities, they will rely on the provinces. No? So, yet, the Commission on Human Rights recently flagged poor conditions and child protection gaps in several Bahay Pag-asa facilities. And number four that I see as a loophole is that diversion may be misused when the offense is treated too lightly. Now, look diversion is allowed especially where the imposable penalty is not more than 6 years. Okay, diversion lang, walang intervention. Kumbaga, parang community service, counseling, and everything. But yung Court-level diversion, yun, makialam na po ang korte, maybe may still be considered where the penalty exceeds 6 years. Okay? So, the loophole is not diversion itself actually. Okay man yung diversion. The problem is when diversion becomes a shortcut to terminate proceedings. Okay? Without real accountability, walang restitution, no psychological assessment or monitoring. Ang mangyari niyan, nagiging ineffective ang batas. Number 5, parents and guardians are not made accountable enough. Yes, hindi po sila nagiging accountable. Sometimes, no? Not all. The law involves the family, sabi dito sa batas. No? But in practice, some parents are negligent. Absent, wala. Or sa abroad, nagtatrabaho, or even complicit. Pagbigyan, sige na lang. Or unable to control the child. No? If the child is repeatedly used by adults or gangs, or the home environment is the source of delinquency, returning the child to the same environment, sa uli siya sa bahay, ineffective pa rin. Correct? So, that's how they see as the fifth loophole. Number 6, ito po ang pinaka-dangerous na loophole na nakita ko. Ang adults may exploit the law. Because younger children have statutory protection, adults may use them as couriers, lookouts, or instruments in unlawful activities. So the child becomes the shield while the adult offenders takes advantage of the child's minority. We have heard so many times, minsan kinokontrol ng mga syndicates ang mga bata at pinapadala doon sa loob ng bahay, sila ang magnakaw sa loob. And when they are caught, may dala-dala na silang birth certificate, we are minors. Okay? So, that is exploitation by the syndicates, yung mga adults. That is one of the loopholes that I've seen. And number 7, loophole, is that serious crimes by children below 15 are still difficult to handle. Ito po yung nangyari sa Tacloban City. Republic Act 10630 tried to address this through mandatory intensive intervention. Ito na, hindi na diversion na intervention, ipalagay na talaga sa Bahay Pag-asa. For certain offenses or serious offenses, and the IGISC inside the Bahay Pag-asa. But again, ang problema is the rule is only strong as the facility, if it is also strong. Kung ang personnel is well-trained and court supervision is behind it. No? Without a functioning IJISC, the serious mechanism becomes weak. No? So, that is nakikita, no? Na isa sa mga problem. Kasi hindi naman lahat pantay talaga or the same, the whole country that implements this kind, no? Na ganitong klaseng treatment or kating klaseng intervention. So, yun ang nakikita na problema. And finally, number 8, yung automatic suspension ng sentence. No? Kasi even if heinous and crimes, no, and above 15, no, and may discernment, hindi kasi yan siya sinisensyahan, sinususpend hanggang sa mag-abot ng 18 to 21, pwedeng i-discharge or pwedeng i-execute yung sentence. Ganun yun . So, even when the child in conflict of law is found guilty, no, yung above 15, the law provides for automatic suspension of sentence, no? And the court may dismiss the case upon successful rehabilitation. That's correct. Kapag ang report ng social worker is that, okay, he was remorseful and everything, pwede po sabihin ng court, sige, dismiss ng kaso. Or, pwede rin namang sabihin ng judge na, no, hindi ako mapayag, execute ang sentence. Now, on the first part, kapag i-dismiss, this is not legally acceptable to the victims. No? While it is not legally wrong, pero dapat ma-explain properly kasi yung mga biktima or yung mga parents ng biktima, like this one, might feel abandoned, especially in serious offenses. Parang hopeless sila. Bakit pabor ang itong law na ito doon sa mga bata na tinatawag nating child in conflict of law? And they have to understand that that law was really created for them. It must be properly explained. So what I'm trying to say is that kailangan siguro ng massive information to everyone and i-explain ito kung ano po ito. The problem is that sometimes din, mga bata is that they will try to use this na, and they are knowledgeable of this, so we are not liable. That is what will happen to us. No? Like what will happen if we have seen some screenshots of text messages between the two perpetrators wherein they were arguing, they were talking and sending message, and they knew for a fact about this. So that there is a law that might protect them, no? So, yun ang mga dangers, no? So, my honest opinion here is the problem is not mainly the age of criminal responsibility. The problem is the weak accountability architecture around the child, no? Lowering the age may answer public frustration, but if the Bahay Pag-asa, yung IJISC, social workers, family accountability, school intervention, and prosecution of exploiting adults remain weak, hindi ma-enforce. Yung nag-exploit ng mga adults sa kanila, the same problem will continue. So akin, the better reform is do not simply criminally punish younger children, but strengthen the compulsory intervention. Make parents and exploiting adults answerable. Require real psychological evaluation. Impose strict monitoring. Improve Bahay Pag-asa and create rules dito po sa 13 to 15 years olds who commit grave, heinous, and serious violent offense as in the case in Tacloban City. So, ang akin lang yan is that hindi kasi talaga na-i-implement as a whole ang batas. Kaya when situations like this, maraming nagrereklamo, maraming galit on both sides of interpretation. And actually, everything should start sana sa family. Problema rin yung how the parents or the guardians take care of their children, no? And whether or not they have given so much love, affection, and attention to their children, that's another thing. Dapat isa rin yan na bagay na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin. And another one is yung, of course, yung the rule on discernment. Now, we have to study about these serious incidents because in most cases, it will involve the Gen Cs and the Gen Alpha later on, who are actually based on some findings, is that may be usually parang vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable. No? Either they will retract and go down and become depressed, and others commit something wrong to themselves, no? Or sometimes they retaliate and commit this kind of mistakes, like what happened here. No? So, that is how I see, no? The law is good, but ang implementation and enforcement dito talaga dapat pukpok. Dapat tutukan talaga ito para at least hindi na mangyari, at least ma-minimize po yung insidente na nangyari sa Tacloban City. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. And sukran.